Yo, when I'm telling you she broke my phone. I didn't even have this phone for a week yet. Okay? And I'm sitting there confident like, please, I just know you ain't finna touch my phone. I just know you not. Like, I ain't worried about you. You ain't even pay for it. I just know you ain't about to do that. Man, when she said let it ring again and it actually rung again, because it was popping. You know what I'm saying? Man, she grabbed the phone and she was like, she had eye contact. This girl had eye contact with me. She pop. I couldn't believe it. It was like everything in me just went into a rage. And she put it on the side where like the little nightstand was at. She put it there and then she sat down in the chair. She said, now let me see somebody call you. I'm like, you broke my phone. She like, it. Why? Who is calling you? Who is calling you that much? You got two phones. What you got two phones for? Now here's the deal. I was done with the sidekick. I wasn't gonna even pay the bill no more. I was done. That was it. After that month, I was just gonna keep the Razor phone. I liked it, the Razor phone. So she sitting there like on some, and I would do it again type look. So I'm pacing back and forth like, you broke my phone. So now the phone is broken half, right? It's still kind of apart because of the cords or whatever's inside that's holding together. But the part that, you know what I'm saying, the receiver part is just like, it's hanging, bro. It's hanging. So I'm like, man, like, you broke my phone. And she like, sure did. I sure did break it. I looked at her. Now, inside that building, it's basically like concrete. They had concrete walls. I don't know what made me do this, but I was that heated. I just straight ran her head to the wall like, boom. When I ran her head to the wall, she like, ah, my head. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, good. So I grabbed my phone. She like, you doing all this over a phone? That phone is more important. She tried to get up. Now, mind you, Tracy is like 6 even. So when she got up, she was still holding her head. Because when I say I grabbed all of this. Because I was so mad. Like, yo, what you doing? Like, who doing this? Man, I was heated. I wasn't in the right state of mind. Man, you do all this over a phone. You talking to somebody else. You talking to somebody else. Grab my stuff. I dip. Straight up. I dip. Leave her right there. I dip. I leave. Right. I leave. So I still got the sidekick. So immediately I hit up Mary to let her know what happened. So I hit up Mary. I have my phone, the other phone. I'm finna go up there to the phone shop. So I call Mary. I'm like, she picks up. I'm like, where you at? She was like, oh, I'm about to get ready to get the kids from their grandma's house. I'm like, man, Tracy just broke my phone. She like, what? The phone I just bought you? I'm like, yeah. She like, why? I'm like, because it was ringing. She was like, well, I called you a few times. I'm like, yeah. But on my sidekick, this is what I did. On my sidekick, I merged all my calls to the Razor phone. I didn't want to get my number out. You know what I'm saying? So I had basically attach the numbers and everything. Like, if I didn't pick up that sidekick, it was going to that Razor phone. And at the time, I had a lot of girls hitting me up, but I wasn't talking to them no more because I was really just banging them two and always with Tracy. It was just that they were just hitting me up. And when I was around Tracy, I always kept my phone on silent when it was with the sidekick. And just period, I had always kept my phone on silent. But you know, when you get a new phone, get a couple of ringtones, you want to kind of show your phone off a little bit. When somebody call you, you know, they got to flip it over like, didn't even have a good time with the phone. So Mary like, well, look, we'll go back up there to the cell phone place when I get paid and I get you another phone. I'm like, no, I'm gonna just try to get this one fixed. She's like, no, don't worry about it. She like, where you at? I'm like, I just left, you know what I'm saying? I just left the building. So she like, okay, I'm gonna talk to you in a little bit. Boom, he hangs up. Now, days and days progress. Tracy end up hitting me up on the sidekick, right? So I pick up. I'm like, hello. She like, I miss you. I'm like, she like, come over to the new house. I'm cooking. I'm like, all right. So boom, I hear Mary up, letting her know I'm finna slide through. She like, to see Tracy. I'm like, yeah, but we not gonna do it. Like, she like, when you gonna tell her that we talking? So now she trying to put the press on me or when I'm gonna tell her. Oh, give me time. This ain't nothing you just throw in somebody's lap. You feel me? So I'm like, yeah, I just found a good way to tell her. So I'm like, look, I'm not gonna do it. You ain't gotta worry about that. I'm like, you at the crib? She like, yeah. Now, boom, I get to the crib, to Tracy crib. Tracy is in the kitchen doing dishes. So Mary ended up letting me in, right? I didn't have a key there. So Mary ended up letting me in, and she straight hugged me and kissed me. I'm like, where's Tracy? She like, she ain't not doing dishes. She like, I'm gonna kiss you first. I'm like, she like, you remember you say y'all not gonna do it. I'm like, I promise we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. So boom, I come in. I'm like, hey. She like, hey. I'm like, how you feeling? She like, I'm good. She like, we about to get ready to cook. I'm like, all right. She like, I'm gonna make some chicken. I'm like, man, I like when Mary make the chicken. She like, huh? I'm like, I love when Mary make the chicken because she make it hard. She like, so you trying to say my chicken nasty? I'm like, no. I'm like, y'all both can make it together. She was like, well, since you want Mary chicken, Mary, you want to make the chicken? And so Mary like, well, I don't mind since you like the chicken. And so Tracy was like, but I had asked you early, did you want to cook? She was like, yeah, but I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, that people love my chicken like that. So I'm just sitting there like, I probably shouldn't have said that. But, you know, being young, you're not thinking. I'm just trying to keep them apart, right? I'm just thinking that, you know, I'm trying to keep them a little bit apart. So Mary had her own room. Mary was actually going to stay there until she found her a spot. So, boom, I goes in Tracy's room. Tracy comes in there. So she put on, like, Netflix, and we just chilling, right? The chicken get done. So I'm like, I'm going to make your plate, because Mary had text Tracy, like, hey, you know, the food is done. So she like, oh, my sister said the food done. I said, I'll make your plate. She like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I got you. So only reason why I really wanted to make the plate is to see Mary. So when I went in the kitchen, I didn't see Mary. So I went back in there with Tracy, and I said, how many wings you want? She like, just give me 4. I'm like, all right, bet. So I leave out of Tracy's room. Mary comes out like with a t-shirt on, and like if she bends over, everything is showing. So she like, I made your plate right there. I'm like, oh, you made my plate? She like, mm-hmm. I'm like, why you wearing that in the house? She like, it's so when you come out, you can see. I'm like, so she sat down in a chair. She had a chair in the kitchen. And she sat down in the chair, and she like opened her lips. I'm like, she like, the hot sauce is right here. And so they, instead of having their hot sauce up, they had their hot sauce. They had their hot sauce down, like at the cabinet in the storage area. So I'm like, she like, that's the hot sauce. I'm like, all right. So I'm looking like, oh my God. So I'm like, she like, you gonna come in my room tonight and give me some? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you can't be loud. She like, I won't. She like, you can't be loud. I'm like, I won't. Like, cause man, I would take it up a notch. So I'm like, I won't. Now here's the deal. Anytime that I had interactions, people always be like, man, there's something about your moan. Like, your moan make me come along. So it was just like, for me to be able to be in that situation and not utilize that as a weapon, especially when it feels good, like, I would have to be on a strict mode of not making a peep, okay? Because Mary's room was next to Tracy mama's room and Quincy's room. Now, here's the deal. We ain't worried about Tracy mama because she's dead. But we definitely worried about Quincy. We worried about Q because he comes in and out whenever he wants. And he bring his friends. And sometimes he have his girl there. So, boom, I goes in the room. I makes the other place. So she like, oh, you making Tracy something? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you mad? She like, no. She like, you're mine. I'm like, she like, bring them lips to me. I'm like, come get them. She like, now she was always just that type. If I say, come get them, she like, yeah, I come. Kissing me, right? So all of a sudden, Tracy room was way by the front door. You could see, you had the opportunity to see. So Mary was kind of blocked off. So Tracy comes out her room to go to the bathroom. And I said, hey, I'm like, I got your food. And she like, hey, thank you, sissy. And when she looks, she noticed, because I could tell in her face, she noticed that what Mary had on was not appropriate to be around me in. So Tracy looks and she goes to the bathroom. But I knew that look. It was that look of, girl, really? So boom, Mary goes in her room, I takes the plates, boom. So I was like, oh, so when Tracy came, I'm like, oh, I forgot our drink. She like, I'll get it. So she gets the drinks. She comes back in, we eat, right? So she like, is it good? I'm like, man, she makes really good chicken. I'm like, she almost looked up with me. She like, oh, you look proud. I'm like, yeah, a little bit. So boom, we eat. Now we're about to lay down. My sidekick is blowing up. That's Mary, like, what are y'all doing? You better not be letting her kiss you. Like, I'm getting all them type of messages. So Tracy up there, she want to lay on my chest. She want to cuddle with me. So I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be cool, calm, and collective. So I'm like, moving my arm a little bit. She like, come here. Why you been acting like that? She like, is it because of the phone? She like, I'll buy you a new phone. I'm like, no. I'm like, it's not because of that. I'm like, don't worry, I'm going to give me another one. She was like, come here. So she grabbing me by my pants. Like, we laying in the bed. She like, come here. She like, come get behind me. I'm like, She like, come on, come get behind me. She like, you don't miss it. Now, mind you, I've been banging this girl locked up in her room for a year and some change. Now I'm over here. It's like what? Like, I don't want to give it to you. Like, it was like one of those restriction modes. Like, no. So she like, you don't want this no more? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm just tired. She like, why every time I ask you for something, you're tired now? I'm like, I am. I'm just tired. I just kept using that. So I was like, I don't want to spend a night. Straight like that, I told her I don't want to spend a night. Because Mary was like, hey, let's go to the building. So Mary wanted to spend a night with me. So I was like, all right, bet. So I just needed to find a way to get out the jam. So I end up texting Mia. I'm like, hey, Mia. So Mia texts me. She like, hey. I'm like, hey, what you doing? She like, nothing, just chilling, smoking, watching a movie. I said, hey, can I spend a night tonight and bring my friend? She like, well, I don't let people in my house. She said, but you can spend a night. I said, okay, cool. I'm like, I'm on my way. So I text Mary. I say, hey. She said, I can stay, but I can't bring no company. I'm like, but you know me. I'm like, but I'm going to sneak you in. She like, how you going to do that? I'm like, don't worry. Boom. I'm like, I'm going to tell you when to come when she go to sleep. Now, from the building to the new home, it's like a good 45 minutes away. It's a nice, decent. It was a decent ride. So I'm like, we don't leave together. She like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. So I'm texting Mary like, just stay here. I'm going to text you when to come. So now Tracy just chilling. She just laying right here. She watching the movie. She ain't even worried about why I'm on the phone and then she kind of dozing off. So I'm like, hey. She like, yeah. I'm like, hey. I'm like, I gotta go do something. She like, what you gotta do? I'm like, I can't spend the night. She like, why come you can't spend the night? I'm like, my friend, he need me. She like, am I gonna see you tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, you will see me tomorrow. She's like, all right, give me a kiss. Now, I felt bad because I'm finna get this girl a kiss, but I wanted to get out the jam, so I gave her a kiss. She like, a real one. I'm like, because it was like, mwah. She like, real? I'm like, I'm not a good kisser, so I end up, let it press a little bit more. Boom. I got my stuff. I went to the bathroom just to walk past Mary's room, and I'm like, so as I come out the bathroom, she right there. She like, come here. She give me a kiss. Like, you bold. So as she give me kisses, she goes to her room. Here come Tracy mama coming from work. Coming in the house like, we had warning signs. It was just like, we had warning signs. Like, we was playing a little too risky. So boom, I dips. I make it there to me and Chris. She lets me in. I see her and Sleepy. You told me you was up and watching TV and smoking, but Sleepy here. So Sleepy like, yo, what's up? I'm like, what's good? He like, I got some found to kill. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm decent. So I go to the room and I'm just waiting like until she go to sleep. So she fell asleep on the couch. Sleepy dips. I end up hitting Mary up like she sleep. She like, all right, here I come. So I'm waiting. So I'm like, okay. So I hit Mary up like, how far are you? She like, 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go and say, hey, Mia, I'm waking her up. Mia. She like, what? I'm like, hey, go to your room. I'm like, you sleeping on the couch? She like, but I was so comfortable right here. I'm like, yeah, but go in your room so you can lay in your bed. She like, okay. So she gets up. She goes, lays in her bed, knocks out. I shut her door. Perfect success. Boom, Mary makes it there. I open the door like slightly, like don't come knocking no door. Boom, I open up the door slightly. She like, yeah, the dude downstairs, the security guard, he trying to, she like, he trying to flirt with me. I gave my ID and he's still trying to flirt. I'm like, boy, I'm trying to go see my man. So I shut the door, and I let Mary straight in the room that I was sleeping in. Now we in the bed, we chilling. So she like, yeah, asking me like, did I do it? But we whispering, right? So she like, I want you. So boom, me and her end up doing it. I'm talking about. And then it got to the point that it was getting good. So the bed started squeaking like, squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. We had the bed rocking. So immediately, Mia, she comes and knock on the door. So I'm like, yeah. She like, you okay? And I'm like, uh-huh. She like, what's that noise? So I'm like, so she gets out so Mary gets out the bed and then go on the other side of the bed and just lay flat on the floor. So I open up the door. I'm like, huh? She like, what's that noise? I'm like, nothing. I'm like, I'm doing something. She like, what you doing? I'm like, nothing. She like, oh, okay. She like, I had to use the bathroom. She like, and I'm thirsty. I'm like, oh, okay. She like, you ain't got on no clothes? I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, no, I just got out the shower. She like, oh, can I see? Straight like that. So I'm like, you for real? She like, yeah. She like, I want a little sample of you, a little sample. I promise I got some good stuff. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't want you to see me. She like, I was just joking. Now, here's the deal. When I went into her cabinet, I realized that this lady was taking pills, like medication, so like that was subscribed to her. She was really off. She was getting a disability check. She was really like legit off. So some of the stuff I was just letting it slide, but I was just like, yo, you bold for accident like this. So boom, Mary like, you can't be here. She like you. I'm like, so she come back. So now we by the door and I'm just slowly like, so I'm about to get loud. She like, right? Boom, we have our moment. That's that. I'm like, I'm going to have to sneak you out early in the morning. So boom. Mia be up like crackhead hours, like 5, 6. So I knew I had to get Mary out a little early. So I ended up getting Mary out a little early. She did. Now, time and time progressed. All right. I have not been doing nothing with Tracy, nothing like that. So I'm end up kicking it with Lala, and Mary end up being down there. So I was kicking it with Lala, just chilling. And so they were just talking like Lala had a dude that she used to rock with that was in jail. And so she was on the phone, and when she got off the phone, she was talking to Mary, and they were just talking. So boom, Lala went to go get some swishes. And so me and Mary is there. So Mary, I'm like, wait, Lala, baby daddy is in jail? She like, no. Friend, she like, yeah, and Tracy still be talking to her ex, writing her ex while he in jail. I'm like, wait, what? She was like, yeah. I'm like, wait, since I've been doing her? She's like, yeah, she go up there and visit him all the time. She went up there and visited him a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, what? Now, here's the deal. Tracy never told me that. Okay? So I was just really shocked. Mary just gave me that little piece, and that was that. Boom. So I'm over there at Tracy's house. A couple of days later, I'm at Tracy's house. So I was barbecuing, and I was barbecuing in the back. So I happened to just pop in. They ain't had no alarm system or nothing. So I happened to just pop in from the back, and she was on the computer. Now, when she was on the computer, she was on Facebook. But when I pop in, she didn't know I popped in. The door was kind of cracked. I go in there, and I'm like, hey, what you doing? She hurried up and clicked off the screen. Like, it was so fast, like click, 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 and brung up the Facebook thing. So I said, what you looking at? Right? Straight like that. I'm like, what you looking at? She like, nothing. I'm like, why you click out the thing out the window so fast? So I go and pull up all the windows. She like, get off my computer. I'm like, watch out. I pull all the windows up. I see that whatever she was doing, she was writing somebody in prison. Then she had his inmate stuff up. So I'm like, who is this? She like, that's my brother off my dad's side. So I'm like, yo, brother? Now, mind you, Mary just gave me the tea some days ago. Still not tripping. Boom. Days and days pass. I'm still chilling at the new home. I'm not really spending the night like that, but I'm really kind of spending the night. All right, boom. The mail comes. I'm just outside because I couldn't really smoke if Tracy went there. I didn't want no static. So I was smoking outside. So the mail lady coming and she like, oh, you stay here? I'm like, yeah. So she like, here go your mail. So she gave me the mail. So the first letter is like God wanted me to know. The first piece of mail was basically from jail. It was basically from jail. You could tell it was from jail. And I just couldn't believe it. And I'm like, man, I went in I put all of the bills and stuff on the table. I went in the room. I'm like, I want to open up. I want to open this. I want to open up this so bad. It wasn't for me. It was for Tracy. It had Tracy's name on it. I'm like, but how would she know if she got a letter, right? So I opened it up. Curiosity killed the cat. When I read it, I knew that I was going to go hard.